press the button.
Yopaymi hozir. Сейчас, подожди, я закрою. Сейчас, погоди. Вот смотри. Нормальныйmi hozir? Mana hozir. Mana 0, o'rta. Ochdim. Ha.
Testing. Testing.
Там вот подсветка была. Вообще.
Раз. Ladies and gentlemen, we are commencing in 1 minute. Please take your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. And we have a special request to turn off your phones, please. I repeat, please turn off your phones. Thank you very much. You can put your phones on a silent mode. Thank you.
Testing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your phones on silent mode. Thank you. We are starting document.
Хорошо.
Who are we? We are a strategic location connecting Europe and Asia. We are 36 million people, the largest in Central Asia. We are 60% of the population under 30. We are 5.7% GDP growth rate. We are the fourth most affordable city in the world. We are ninth, the safest country. We are 15th lowest internet cost. We are a country with 99% of internet coverage. With 99.99% literacy rate. We are 5 million English speakers. We are 36,000 freelancers. We are more than 100,000 IT talents. We are more than 1,400 tech-based enterprises. We are more than 500 IT export-oriented companies. We are more than 300 foreign tech companies. We are a 0% tax rate for IT companies. We are fully committed to fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. We are the IT hub of Central Asia. Uzbekistan is the new outsourcing hub. We welcome you to grow your business with us.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Digital Leadership Forum, happening here in the buzzing city of Tashkent, Uzbekistan. My name is Bugun. I'm the CEO of IT Park University. Honored to be serving as your moderator here today. I am partnered up with an amazing co-host, whom I will introduce to you in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to rock and roll as we unveil the gem of the East to all the incredible companies out there. Now, it's like finding a hidden treasure, except this gem is a booming outsourcing market, just waiting for you to dive in headfirst. Now, picture this. Uzbekistan, the land of opportunities, where the government is fired up and just ready to make IT and BPO industry shine. Now, they set a jaw-dropping goal in front of them, hitting $5 billion of IT export by 2030. Now, that is some serious ambition, my friends. Now, we're not kidding here. By the end of this event, we're gonna make sure that you are itching to prioritize Uzbekistan as your #1 market to conquer. We got tax exemptions for all the IT and BPO companies. We got the government with guts to push the digital development, and a whole lot of pizzazz. Now, we have a special guest who is about to add some star power to this event. This guy is a bona fide celebrity in the ICT world, and he is going to take this event to a whole new level. Now, he's not just the host of this event, oh no. This guy is an absolute powerhouse of knowledge and experience. Has been consulting, government, sharing expertise, and he's been observing Uzbekistan, changes in Uzbekistan for the past 8 years. Now, talk about having all the reference points for comparisons. Now, with this guy by our side, we have an incredible source of objective opinion about Uzbekistan's digital landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, oh no, wait, let me add a bit of a drama here. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you, the one and only, Paul Michael Cullen!
Thank you very much. I'm just Paul. You know, I have lived, worked, traveled to 120 countries. 120 countries. Some very challenging countries and some very sophisticated countries. Yes? Some examples. I'm invited to have dinner in Buckingham Palace, privately, to discuss real issues. I helped sit on the Committee for the Future Economy of Singapore with the Deputy Prime Minister when he asked the hard question, what do I do in 10, 20 and 50 years with my country? When I'm in Shanghai with the then new president, Ivan Duque from Colombia, representing China. I'm Australian, mostly Russian and a little bit of other things, but Australian. And we're sitting, discussing, and I start talking about trust. And he says, Paul, just wait a moment. I trust you to help transform my country. UK, Singapore, Colombia. And everybody's asking the question, what to do? So for 40 years, everybody's asking, what do I do next? I was in Tbilisi during, I think, mid-90s with Shevardnadze, yes? We used to have tea in his palace, and we used to chat about how to build Georgia. And before and after Perestroika in Kazakhstan with Tungushbayev. How do I do these things? What do I do in my country? Please help me. When I'm in Somalia, yes, after the fall of Mogadishu, the government then is asking, help me. So now everybody's asking how to do it. How do you transform? So I'm going to answer this question very differently when I travel around the world. I'm going to say, you come here to Uzbekistan because this is how you do it. You may think, Paul, you say this in every country you go. This is not true. Everybody has a challenge to grow their economy. Everybody has a challenge to develop industry. Yes? And just now you heard from my colleague, he said it starts with leadership. It starts with a vision. But it needs execution. So when I came here in 2016, I had never been to Uzbekistan. I didn't really know too much about it, but I knew some similarities. Australia, mostly desert. Uzbekistan, a lot of desert. Australia, wrapped around with ocean. Uzbekistan, wrapped around with no ocean. Yes? 30 million people, 30 million plus or minus people. Huge resources, huge resources. Everybody's having a comfortable life. Yeah? Because it's resource driven. But we've seen in the last 20 years, the whole world has changed. Let's put the pandemic aside, let's put geopolitics aside. And here you have a significant population that is young. And our job as we get older is to help grow these people, to develop the talent. So 8 years ago, roughly when I came here in 2016, it was a different Uzbekistan. The deputy minister then invited me to give a presentation. What do you think we should do, Paul? How should we do it? What's your advice? I came 2 years later and I saw the changes. They were already obvious in 2 years. When I saw the latest results comparing 2016, 2023, I didn't need to read the paper. When I entered the airport, the new CIP lounge is here. It's very different. When we're driving down the streets, everybody is driving properly, if I may say this, yes? Yes? I see the same transformation in China, where I live in Shenzhen. 7, 8 years ago, there are very few cars, and if you step on the road, you're probably going to get run over. Today, a 50-ton lorry will stop at the crossing and the gentleman put out his hand and invite you to cross the street. I have the opportunity to live in a country where for almost 7 or 8, 10 years, we don't use credit cards, debit cards, cash. Everything is digital. Everything is digital. Now look at the results you have here. Everything is digital. So my key message today, as I'm about to introduce and welcome to the stage to give the welcome address and the keynote to explain what he did, how he did it, and what's next, is digital. Anything starts with transformation, starts with leadership, and then bringing everybody together to execute on the plan. It's actually very straightforward. It's about execution. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the Minister, Minister Shermatov, who is going to give you a welcome address and also present the new digital Uzbekistan. Пожалуйста. Спасибо.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. I'm very honored to see you here in Tashkent, in IT Park Uzbekistan complex. And actually, this is a very important event today for Uzbekistan because we have first Digital Leadership Forum in Uzbekistan. And we see so many leaders of the digital world. It's very difficult for me to describe all the participants because there are more than 100 different leaders from different countries of the world. We see many former presidents, former prime ministers, Mr. Hamadun Toure, the former ITU leader. So many current leaders of different IT companies. And you are all welcome. You are all welcome in today's Digital Leadership Forum. And let me give you a brief presentation. As Paul said, how we reached here, and the most important, how are we planning to reach before? So in 2017, it was a very interesting moment. In 2017, I was acting minister in this ministry. At that time, it was called a different ministry, but responsible for IT. And I was trying to present, based on the international experience, we have visited Belarus, we have visited India, and based on those experiences, if we create the necessary preferences for IT companies, zero tax regime for corporate taxes, and less taxes for the employees of IT companies, then we will be able to create the IT industry in this country. It was a crazy idea by that time, because maybe most of you do not know how Uzbekistan was in 2016. In 2016, Uzbekistan was a completely closed country with no currency convertibility. Most of the business is done in cash. So at that time, we were trying to kind of justify the importance of giving this kind of openness. And we have to admit that our president, His Excellency Mr. Mirziyoyev, he has a very visionary goals. He is able to set very visionary goals. At that time, despite the fact that all the fiscal bodies, all the finance people were kind of opposing this idea, he approved. And now, at 2017, when we were presenting in our presentation that we will reach 30 million annual export rate, it was, laughed by many of my peers that how can you reach 30 million experts? This year, we are proudly saying we are going to reach more than 10 times of that goal. $300 million of export. And this is just the beginning. And with your help, we set very ambitious goal. It was announced at the campaign by His Excellency Mr. Mirziyoyev that by 2030, we will be reaching $5 billion of IT experts. And today, I'm at the same situation when I was back in 2017. Many people here might be saying, oh, this guy is crazy. How he can think about $5 billion when he's just talking about 300 million. But today, with your help, I think if we put this central question, how are we going to reach $5 billion and what we should do as a country to reach this goal? And I think with your insights, with your experience, with your ideas, we can further develop to make any changes necessary for your companies to feel safe, for your companies to choose Uzbekistan, and for your companies to make more business, to grow your business with Uzbekistan. And as it was introduced in the beginning video, Uzbekistan is a very populous country. Now, if you look at the former Soviet bloc, we are, I think, almost the #2 most populous country. And from the 1990s, we have increased plus 16 million people, and most of them are young people. And for the past 6 years, we have been doing comprehensive reforms in all the fields of our country, and most importantly, in human capital. Because education is the most important area where our president was focusing his attention. We had almost non-existing preschool education. Now we are covering most of our kids with preschool education. Most of our teachers' kids were unfortunately in cotton fields. Now all those kids, teachers are in schools. And with the help of our partners, I was the Minister of Public Education responsible for more than 10,000 schools for 3.5 years. And we have implemented very important projects together with our partners, and I see here His Excellency Ambassador of the United States. US helped us to implement 2 important projects. English-speaking nation. The idea is to have more graduates of our schools who can speak freely English. We call the project English-speaking nation, so that every graduate of schools would be able to speak English. This is an extra opportunity for you to look for Uzbekistan as an IT and BPO outsourcing hub. And of course, the IT Nation project, by which we connected all our schools with high-speed internet. We reviewed fully the IT curriculum, and at the end of the day, we will have more IT qualified people upon the graduation of our schools. And by 2017, we had just 9% of quota for higher education. For the past 6 years, our president increased the both quota for state universities, allowed many international universities to open, and allowed many private universities to open. Now, only in IT, we see more than 65 universities who are preparing specialists in IT, and today we are going to witness the opening of one more very ambitious university project, and this would add up to your human capital, to your human needs, so that you can rely on these highly qualified specialists for the growing of your business, of your outsourcing business in Uzbekistan. And of course, for the past year, we have introduced many important changes for those companies who would like to relocate their business due to these events in the world. Due to these uncertainties, we have seen hundreds of companies moving their offices to Uzbekistan, and thousands of highly qualified IT specialists moving to Uzbekistan. So we have introduced IT visa, we have introduced one-stop shop services for all the companies who would like to relocate their offices, their staff to Uzbekistan, which includes the registration of legal entity, opening the bank account, everything. And meeting at the airport, we have even arranged special aircrafts for those big companies who would like to relocate their staff to Uzbekistan. And of course, we create the office buildings as well. Here you can see the first stage of our office buildings, and this type of buildings are available in all 14 regions of Uzbekistan, and we are also expanding to 200 district centers of Uzbekistan. And you can compare the prices. We have so many young people who are eager to work for much less than you can see, of course, not in Western Europe or in the West, but even you can compare with the Eastern Europe or other developing countries. So this is a cost benefit for your business to prosper. Because in times of uncertainties where you see the ever-growing prices of fuel, ever-growing prices of money, for the companies located in the Western world, they should be sure to be able to competitive, to look for the locations where they can have the most out of their, out of their business. So Uzbekistan offers the best value proposition for your outsourcing business. And of course, IT Park is not just the tax preferences. IT Park provides the comprehensive services for IT companies. Here I would not go too much into detail because we have Farhad's presentation. He will describe all the details of this, but it's a whole ecosystem of services for IT companies. It provides a full branch of service, so you don't have to go to any other state entity. If you want to make an IT business in Uzbekistan, the IT Park would be your only single source of doing business. And today, I'm happy to announce that we are launching the next stage. What would be the next stage? The next stage is International Center for Digital Technologies, which is going to be located in this area. We just built the first buildings, which you can see the first buildings, but we are going to expand this infrastructure. And it's not just about infrastructure. It is about a regulatory sandbox. So IT is moving very fast, but our regulation may be very difficult to change, but those companies who are located in this area will be in a regulatory sandbox. They can test their ideas, they can test their startups, different startups. So it will provide much more flexibility for IT companies to work here. And special legal regime, because maybe our regulatory framework, the legal framework overall in the country might be difficult to change to the needs of the modern IT companies. But here we will have a special legal regime based on your request. And of course, it might be very difficult to protect all these intellectual property rights or some guarantees in investors to all the country, but specifically in this region, in the International Center for Digital Technologies, based on your advice, we will make a special system where you will feel very safe. You will have a best world experience in terms of protection of your guarantees of investment as well as your intellectual property and everything. And of course, we are thinking about providing a special financial and banking services within this territory, so that all those companies who have innovative ideas in fintech, innovative ideas in different sorts of new services, might test their ideas here and might be able to export from here. And based on this, we have now a special task force who are working on developing all those proposals. And here, based on the world practices, we would like to create you the best conditions so that you don't feel much difference whether you are working in many developed countries or you are working in International Center for Digital Technologies in Uzbekistan. But the main difference would be the cost. Cost of doing business, cost of living, and cost of the local employees you can get. And whom we'd like to see here, first of all, headquarters of the international companies. Already today, we will be witnessing that 2 major IT companies are opening their regional headquarters. Historically, most of the regional headquarters were mostly in the northern part of the CIS. But today, many companies are moving all the CIS headquarters to Tashkent. And today we will be opening 2 of them. And we will invite all other companies to follow this example. Because now Uzbekistan is the best place if you consider working for Russian-speaking countries. Because we have the best conditions, we have so many people who understand the Russian, as well as English, and this would be the best place for you. And not only to Russian-speaking countries, we are not limiting, but based on the tax preferences, based on the cost comparison, I think you can, in future, relocate your global headquarters here as well. And of course, those companies who are focusing on IT experts, IT service experts, business process outsourcing, knowledge process outsourcing, they are all welcome to International Center for Digital Technologies as well. And venture funds, startup accelerators, if they are located within the premises of this IT Park Uzbekistan, they can also enjoy the tax preferences of IT Park Uzbekistan. And here you can see Farhad and Olimjon. Olimjon also here. So these are two our leaders, local leaders, who are now in our team of, who are leading the team of experts to make this International Digital Technology Center the really working institution for you. And so these are the two focal points. Today during the coffee breaks or in our mountain session or after that, they will be available for you for open discussion on how to make this International Digital Technology Center really suitable for your needs. And of course, we would be very much eager to see those companies who would like to open the headquarters here. So I'm also available 24/7 for those big companies who are really willing to open their headquarters. And of course, if there is an interest in being the part of this infrastructure project, like if you are interested in real estate, definitely the real estate here, based on the additional preferences, will be much higher in value than in other parts of the Tashkent. And of course, we are very much interested in consulting and modern banking services as well. And I hope that today will be very important for the future of digital Uzbekistan. And definitely with your help, I think we can reach 5 billion target of Uzbekistan. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you very much. Thank you. Folks, I want to share a very short, incredible story about one of the measures of support mentioned by His Excellency, the Minister, IT visa. Now, this story demonstrates an unwavering support that sphere of IT receives from the government and the President himself. When IT Park came up with this idea, it took a mere 2 weeks to get an approval on the highest level of the government. 2 weeks. Now, normally, a process of this significance takes at least several months. So that shows you how closely the Ministry of Digital Technologies collaborate with IT Park. It demonstrates the strong political will, a political will of a strength that is second to none. This is the reason why IT Park has been so successful in a very short period of time. Now, when people ask us, what is IT Park? We usually say, we have the Ministry of Digital Technologies, which is the regulator, and we have IT Park, that is the main executive agency responsible for facilitating the development of IT sphere in Uzbekistan. However, I was talking to Paul yesterday. I really liked one notion that you had, Paul. We say the ministry is the regulator, but I was really shocked, very pleasantly surprised when he said, yes, the regulator, but your ministry works more as an enabler, not the regulator. That is very true. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite to the stage our next esteemed speaker, the CEO of IT Park, Mr. Farhad Ibragimov.
Good morning, the distinguished guest. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation in a short call to visit us, to visit what's going on in Uzbekistan, what's new. And this is a big honor for me to announce today's new incentives, new schemes, which probably many of the companies waiting for the 1 year. We have a tradition every year in July. We have them gather all the IT specialists. By the way, when I say the IT specialist, it means IT and enabled services. It means that with the BPO companies for the future. So when we call the IT specialist, we're always announcing something new what's happening in Uzbekistan. The current figures, what we will launch very soon, and what we will launch ahead for the next 6 months. So let me start my presentation. Now, before starting, I'm just saying, we spent from 2017 till now, we spent a lot of time for build the basement of current ecosystem, the attractive ecosystem for IT and the BPO companies. We built it in case of the regulatory work, improving regulatory work. Every year we're improving the legal acts according to the feedback from the resident IT companies. The second what we do, this is make the construction across the whole Republic of Uzbekistan for develop the infrastructure. Develop the infrastructure, this is specialized IT buildings. IT and the BPO provide the services buildings with uninterrupted electricity and one of the best internet in the country. The third, and from our point, what is the most important one, we pay a lot of attention for the capacity building. The big advantage of Uzbekistan, this is the population. As the Honorable Minister said that 36 million, 20 million of them under the 30. And that's from 20 to 35, this is over than 5 million people who are ready to work, to provide the services, which is looking forward for the remote job. And for capacity building, that was the critical one. So this is a time. It's for those who heard about this attractive condition, beautiful, all incentives and the schemes. From 2023, we start to promote the Uzbekistan as new outsourcing destination. So for most of you, probably some of the conditions will be familiar, but for the new, our guests as the FDI consultants, for the site selectors, for the analytics, I hope that will be very useful. So shall we start? I remember myself when we, in 2018, when we start to attract the companies to Uzbekistan, it was New York Stock Exchange listed company. This is EPAM system company. It was the Arkady Dobkin visited us 2018. And it takes over than 1 year, 1.5 probably, if I'm not mistaken, Rinat. It takes so long time to make the company register in Uzbekistan. Why? Because at that time, we don't have so much advantages as we have now. You can see that this is current situation in Uzbekistan. So when we started only with IT. It was the IT software development. So, but we're seeing that for the long-term perspectives, IT is very good. But for the short term, because we trained a lot of people across the Republic of Uzbekistan, for the short term, we understand that we should wait. So that's why from 2019, we start to pay attention for the BPO companies, for make attractive Uzbekistan for BPO companies. So you see that now that decision was the correct, because of now you see the figures with the older 100, now we currently 300 million export which we expected. Now its figures is 53% only goes to the IT and the BPO is 47, and it's growing very rapidly. Because for the BPO, this is massive people can be involved in these processes. And Uzbekistan, especially the regions, are ready for that. Important thing is to see that the majority of the customers of our companies, they are located in the United States. This is probably all of the countries which are providing the services, they have the same figures, I think. But from last year, we're starting to improve our work with the European Union countries, especially starting with the Germany. And we hope till end of this year for the MEA region, we will start to provide the services for that country as well. So the figures we will hope for the next year will be changed a little. So you see the number of the companies. It is over than 1,400 companies now exist with the registered in IT Park. And the important thing is that over than 400 of them IT outsourcing companies, who is providing the services, and the BPO services and the IT services. And over than 200 companies, owners and the founders belong to the foreigners. So it means that even we didn't promote Uzbekistan for the last 5 years, as we will promote very soon, very actively, the companies, the foreigners the foreigners trusting Uzbekistan. So we hope to increase number of the companies with the foreign founders. So we see that export, now we have the more than 130 for the 5.5 months, and we hope to reach the 300 million. But even the 300 million for the 36 million population, this is almost nothing. And we understand that, and that's why promotion is starting. So number of the employees, now 22,000 who work, but in the market, this is over than 100 million different type of the excellent talents exist. And number of trained specialists, you see that. It is from 2019 with the support of the Dubai government, with the Dubai Future Foundation, we launched the program, 1 million Uzbek programmers. So over than 1 million people trained there. It was with the Udacity program, online platform. Now with the Coursera, we are continuing this work, and for the second stage. And we expected another 1 million of the different type of the people and the future specialists who will be involved in our processes. Important incentives. Incentives starting from 2017. That incentives is also annually improving, getting better. And from the next slide, you will see that. So let me one more time for the people who's the first time visiting us, they see that you can see the difference between the non-resident companies, ordinary companies in Uzbekistan, and for the companies who's online have the registration in IT Park. I want to repeat probably that the IT Park companies, IT companies, they shouldn't be located only in IT Park. They can be registered anywhere they want and sit any offices they want in the Republic of Uzbekistan. Even at home, we have the virtual office for that. So you can see for the tax, this is no corporate tax, no social tax, no VAT. This is almost nothing because the government not interesting to fake them any kind of taxes from the IT specialists. This is good opportunity to find new job opportunities in the regions. So only we have the 7.5% for the personal income tax. This is even the lower than you see the ordinary companies. This is going to the pension of the employees. Another thing is that what mentioned, when we started, we see a lot of demand from the foreign companies, first of all, who is set up the office in Uzbekistan to register the office. They spend a lot of time from the bureaucracy. So we, launched the programs One-Stop Shop, where as soon as you take decision to set up the company in Uzbekistan, on behalf of you, IT Park employees can do this work, register everywhere, and just open the company with the offices, with the equipped offices, if there is any demand for that, with the right location, with the good services in the HR as well. So for the soft landing, if there is any kind of companies who is interested also to involve their own current specialists to invite to Uzbekistan, this is soft landing program for them is existing as well. And important thing is that the visa. I'll tell you the one thing that in Uzbekistan, I mean, every country probably, Minister of Foreign Affairs providing the visa. In Uzbekistan, it's only another area, only the IT area has a providing visa, not only by Foreign Ministry, it's provided by our ministry, IT Park, and the other agencies together. We are taking decision of that. This is the trust of the government to IT sphere. This is the trust of the government to our ministry, to IT Park. The trust of the president, first of all. So it means that supporting with the government role, it will be a very long-term story. So we hope that that also makes sense for the many of the new companies who's interesting to come. But the new thing is that what we'd like to announce. This is we'll start from the Monday. We will launch the program Zero Risk. Zero Risk program, this is oriented for IT outsourcing companies who will set up the office in the certain regions except the Tashkent, because the Tashkent 800 companies are located here, except the Tashkent, for set up the business. It will be provided office spaces at least for 50 employees. It should be at least 50 employees. Provide the office spaces for free. With the furnished, equipped, all the technology will be provided according to the requirement of the company which is coming to Uzbekistan. This will be for free. And for 50 or over the 100 employees, annually compensation only for 1 year in the beginning, because during the year you feel that is there any risk or no. You'll get this feeling as soon as you start your business. We are compensating up to 50% from their salary. And also, we will ready to share the cost of the trainers who will come from the origin country to train our employees, our staff, Uzbek staff in Uzbekistan. So we cover the 50% of them. And compensation, the HR services, fully compensated. I mean, if you take a decision to come to Uzbekistan, I mean, you don't need to spend anything. All will be provided by us. And as soon as that 1 year passed, you say that I want to go, I want to start the business in Uzbekistan, I want to continue my business in Uzbekistan, then only you will return back only equipment and the furniture cost. That's all. If you say that I don't interesting, I will not be able to continue my business, I mean, no need to compensate anything. But why we are going, this is probably one of the best conditions, schemes which we have in the global market for the BPO or the IT outsourcing services. Why we are doing that? Because we trust our future talents. We trust our employees. We trust that your business face success in Uzbekistan. So that's why we are ready to launch these kind of programs. So the second one is global excellence. As I told you, this is a time to start to promote Uzbekistan. We are very attractive, and for that we are ready to work with the FDI consultants. This is fixed contracts could be provided to them as a proposals. With the site selectors, which is all the needs, with the travel to Uzbekistan will be covered by IT Park. And with the research project and analytics. Because more and more information should be published about Uzbekistan in the different journals and the magazines, internet websites. So we are ready to collaborate and work, and all the proposals for the 3 type of the direction will be provided in the website. I will show you at the end. So in the last one, but not least, it is that global, local to global. What does it mean? We have, if you remember, I told you that over than 1,400 companies exist now in IT Park with the register. Thousands of them still working for the local market, providing different type of the services. Most of them is product-oriented services. So if the companies, I'm pretty sure that many of them are interesting to go abroad, to start to work overseas to provide the services as well. And for them, we are launching the program. We call it local to global. And here we are ready to compensate the export consulting services was a 50%. I mean, if there is any kind of consultancy who would like them to reorient the company for the export, that will be compensated by us as all the costs during the year for the 50%. Also, we are compensating the cost if the current employees of the companies, they want to have any kind of language courses, that will be compensated 100% by us. If there is still some employees probably we have who is speaking in the only local languages. So for them, this is good opportunity, I think. And overseas trip compensations, partly compensations, many kind of courses for free will be provided for that companies. So this is important. And I want to mention one more thing, that for the companies who is currently provided the services online, outsourcing services in Uzbekistan, important thing is that we are ready to invite them for the new program for them as well, for the sponsor traveling, for the sponsor, we will be sponsored for traveling of their clients. What the issue? When we talk with the many of the companies, current companies, they say that my clients, they don't know about Uzbekistan anything. Yes, it is, we understand that, because we just start, we will start. The thing is that if there is any kind of interest of your clients to come to Uzbekistan, that will be covered by us also. So that kind of programs will be launched from the Monday, and you can find more information on the website. And according to our tradition, I also want to say that next, from the beginning of 2024, we are also launching ahead new, I think that one of the most incredible projects in history of Republic of Uzbekistan, I think, in the history of IT, in the ICT area. This is the IT Park will welcome service-oriented companies from any sector, I'm specifying any sector, with regional HQs in the IT Park of Uzbekistan in this area. When I say any sector, it is the sector of the service. It could be consulting, it could be even the construction services which is providing by the service. It could be digital marketing. This is a lot of new services could be provided by us. It for them whose the HQs will be located in this area. So far we are doing this, and we are ready to continue carefully support, individually support each company who is coming to Uzbekistan. Thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy your stay in Uzbekistan, and during your stay, we are ready to share more information about the IT Park. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce the next speaker, I just give you couple of quick takeaways that I've gotten here. It's all about talent development. It's all about incentivizing, yes? It's all about the vision. But when I was speaking with Farhad before, I said, how did you do it? And he said, we targeted the best companies. And that's why I'd like to introduce Helgot Friedrich. He is the Managing Director of EPAM Systems in Germany. So please welcome.
Thank you. So, many thanks for the invitation, Mr. Shamatov. Many thanks, Sharut, for the invitation. My name is Helgot Friedrich. I'm from EPAM Systems. EPAM Systems some of you know EPAM, some of you know not. EPAM was founded in 1993 in New York as a software development company from some native Russian-speaking guys, highly talented, and meanwhile 50,000 software engineers around the world. And very successful in this global delivery model. And wait a moment, that's the wrong direction. Yeah. Meanwhile, we are in Uzbekistan with a great growing office, and my colleague Renat, maybe you stand up so that all the audience can see you, is responsible for this, wait, that's too fast, for this great growth in this region. And some months ago, I was invited by a colleague to Uzbekistan, and it was November last year. And he told me there's an issue, and I'm an expert in financial industry, in core banking systems, and then in the regulation. He called me and said, we have a huge issue on the regulation side with one of the biggest privatized banks in Uzbekistan, and may you can help. So, and I jumped in a plan. We had some workshops, and it was an incredible, interesting project. And more interesting, after stay 4 days in Uzbekistan, I understood it's more or less the same situation like 20, 25 years ago in Dubai. because I was responsible in my early steps in the career to help in this region, in the Middle East region, to reorganize the financial industry. And it remembers me a lot last autumn what's happened here. And since then, I'm often enough on the ground, and we have so it's incredible, and I'm a proof, and I'm not a paid advertiser. Yeah? So I'm a software engineer. We worked in this industry, in this region, and our experience is quite positive. So, and when my colleagues from New York or even Frankfurt or Berlin ask why you stay so often in Uzbekistan, then I explain exactly this impression. But by take a look on the numbers, and numbers all speaks the truth, this region has a high dynamic by numbers in the development and growth. Yeah? And compared to my colleagues from UK and especially from the US, they have always a strong opinion about leadership. Then you can see there is a very interesting candidate in this region. Yeah? So, and when we jump on the next page, I hope it will coming. Then there's the next surprising moment, and congratulations for the colleagues from China. I don't know where the audience sitting, but as we start to work here, the critical infrastructure, yeah, and when you work as a software engineer, it's highly depending in which infrastructure you work, and then we experienced there's a lot of Chinese technology, and it runs very well. So, and we're discussing with our colleagues from Europe and from the US, so there is a race. The race is open, and the guys in Uzbekistan organizing this race, this competition in a very smart way. So, and we have to stay in this race if you won't lose position. And here you see, and it's an example from the telecommunication industry, that there is a clear position. And on the next page, and here starts the lecture for the audience. If you use critical infrastructures, especially in the deep hardware technology, then it's necessary from the governance side to organizing regulations in a smart, mutual, fair way. Because over the regulation, you're organizing the competition. And there are more or less two basic concepts in the competition from the Chinese perspective or from the Asia perspective and from the US / from the European perspective, and you see in this chart where the difference are. So, and it's an open debate. And if we could organizing this debate on this high competence with some fair rules, then we stimulate a higher degree on competition, and in the end of the day, we made money, the society is growing, and we have a lot of development in a positive way. So, and when we take a look on a positive example, and that's an US example, and we worked in this. This firm worldwide, what reflects the highest ethical standards on regulations, especially with data privacy and data security, is Apple. And meanwhile, Apple is the most valuable firm in the world, with 3 million valuation. So, and that is a proof that it is the motivation to organizing a regulation on the higher standards maybe is reflecting in this region, and a great opportunity for Uzbekistan. And when we take a look in the regulation at the moment here in Uzbekistan, then we see the different concepts, and we see the huge opportunity for Uzbekistan to stimulate this competition for both blocks, for the Asian and for the European / US, and to stimulate and moderate this competition, there is a huge opportunity for business development, especially from the outsourcing management, because when you arbitrate this for a global market in the development, there is a lot of advantage. And to take exactly where the Uzbekistan regulation at the moment are, if we compare the country-specific requirements from this both economic blocks, then you see the room for improvement, but it's not a critical aspect. It's more a question for the next upcoming 2 or 3 years to reorganize this and build up the best environment for technology firms worldwide to attract modern, innovating business, especially software engineering business. And why is this important? We can like it or not, but the fact is that with the upcoming digitalization, the data consumption is growing massively, exponential. So, and you have to deal with this massive data, with this amount of data capacity, and it's a projection for the next 3 years or 2.5 years. And the most efficient way to manage this data are cloud technologies. And if you build software, at the moment, you have to build cloud-native software systems. And when we take a look in the telecommunication industry or in the finance industry, then we see a lot of on-premise technologies, but seldom enough cloud-native technologies, especially in the core banking systems, in the risk management systems, in the billing systems, in the telecommunication. And that's why, sooner or later, cloud-native infrastructures, critical infrastructures for the society, and development and productive infrastructure in the industry will be cloud-native. And that's why the regulation for this cloud service is necessary and summarizes. The big question is how and which role will play Uzbekistan for this critical infrastructure business to stimulate all this international global outsourcing business. Yeah. So, and then I will close my speech with 3 recommendations, 3, 4, and 5. First of all, focus on the talent, because in Uzbekistan we see a young, highly motivated population, and if this population is well educated, especially in the STEAM areas, then there is a strategic advantage in the global competition. Second, enable the cloud technologies, and third, leverage the regulations. So, and here I will end my speech, and will thank you for your attention, and again thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Mr. Friedrich, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, I got time. Now, folks, success of EPAM systems showcases the immense potential of Uzbekistan as a thriving market. But, with all these reforms and changes going on in this country, I mean, you heard that. You heard the presentation made by His Excellency, the Minister, the CEO of IT Park, Farhad Ibrahimov. I mean, who does that? Show me any country that offers the same benefits. It's basically saying, come and work, we'll do the rest for you. That's basically what it's saying. However, one thing that we still lack, one area that we still need to commit more resources and energy on, is informing the world about them. Now, conventions like this do a great job in this. However, we need to partner up with companies that help us to spread the word. And one of these companies that we have put the first brick of partnering up with, and that happened in Scotland during the meeting with the CEO of this company, is Ryan Strategic Advisory. And I ask you to join me in welcoming Mr. Michael Zdanovsky as our next speaker. Thank you very much. Michael, thank you. And here's the clicker.
So, good morning, everyone. Delighted to be here in Tashkent today. So, I'm Dr. Michael Zdanovsky, and I represent Ryan Strategic Advisory. Unfortunately, my business partner, Peter Ryan, couldn't be here today, so you're stuck with me. If you told me 20 years ago, when I first started working in the BPO sector, I'd be here in Tashkent talking at the Digital Leadership Forum about key global BPO trends and the industry and what you should be looking for and thinking about as an industry, I might not have believed you, because back in the early to mid 2000s, the industry was all about India, and also there were a few emerging destinations, and there was the Philippines, for example, and then there were a host of other destinations that were starting to emerge, like Egypt, Colombia, Mexico, South Africa, and a few other players. As a communications specialist, I had the great pleasure of working with several of these country offers and the companies within them. And I was lucky enough at first hand to see how these destinations were building their value propositions. And one example of the work I did was actually with the government of Egypt, with their IT and outsourcing department called IT-DA. And I know we've got some Egyptian guests in the front row who I was speaking to about this about an hour ago. And the key question facing Egypt, as indeed Uzbekistan now, is how do you transform perceptions of a country, particularly a country with thousands of years of history? So for centuries, Egypt had been seen as the land of the pharaohs. It had obvious associations with the pyramids, the sphinxes, even Agatha Christie's celebrated novel, Death on the Nile. So we couldn't talk about that. So instead we showcased the best that Egypt had to offer in terms of its young people, its emerging digital infrastructure, IT-DA's Smart Village, which in many ways the IT park here reminds me of. And in short, we had to change perceptions, and actually that's one of the most difficult things you can do in business, because you're not changing people's software, you're changing people's hardware. How do people perceive you as a country and a destination? And I mention Egypt because actually Uzbekistan faces many of those similar challenges. So for many decades, centuries, even millennia, Uzbekistan has been at the center of a global crossroads. And it was mentioned before in some of the presentations that Uzbekistan is known as the hub of the Silk Road, a connecting location between East and West. And actually there's a wonderful opportunity now for Uzbekistan to be at the center of this connected digital world once again. So the starting point for this journey is one of discovery, and that's really why I'm excited to be here in Uzbekistan today. And I'm really grateful to our host, the Uzbekistani government, for their kind hospitality and for organising such a high-level event and a busy schedule of activities and different things to see and do around Tashkent and the area. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the IT part later today. So within this context, I'm going to talk to you very briefly about the work of Ryan Strategic Advisory, what we do and where we fit in, and I'm going to relate that to a recent piece of work, some survey work that we did, looking at perceptions in the global BPO industry and making a few references with Uzbekistan, which hopefully will be informative for all of you today. So firstly, a few words about Ryan Strategic Advisory. So the company is a strategic advisory firm, consultancy, founded in 2016 by Peter Ryan, my business partner, and is based in Montreal, Canada. However, we have consultants around the world. Key services are advisory, consultancy, but we also look at analysis, market insights, and brand development, which is really important when you're trying to position a country offer. We also conduct quite a number of thought leadership surveys in the sector, most recently the front office omnibus survey, which I'm going to talk about to you now. So the front office survey, we, as part of this piece of work, we interviewed in depth 712 customer experience decision makers around the world, and really focusing on a number of key markets, mostly Western Europe, but also including this year Australia and Japan, which are really relevant to our insights on Uzbekistan. We looked at 17 different vertical markets, so we interviewed the CX leaders not just about their general perceptions, but actually how countries fared in terms of offering opportunities in different vertical sectors like energy or industry or digital. So it even could be services in terms of cyber security. The interviews were conducted by telephone, or all in local languages, and the field work was done in early 2023. So the actual survey results are all very, very accurate and up to date and relevant. And in terms of the companies we interviewed, they range in terms of worth from $10 million up to $5 billion. So these are companies with lots of, are big companies in the space and really influential companies. So moving to Uzbekistan and some insights on the company. I'm not sure if I've just skipped a slide, so just forgive me. Yeah, so just relating it to Uzbekistan and kind of drawing some insights. And I don't have time to run through the whole survey with you today, and I'm sure you wouldn't appreciate me running through sort of 50 graphs on screen. So in terms of Uzbekistan's BPO proposition and how it fits into the front office survey, what we learned and have been learning is that, and as we've been hearing this morning, that Uzbekistan represents a really interesting test case. It has a large multilingual population, focused mostly on English, Russian. We've also seen the number of German speakers, Japanese. We're learning about the IT infrastructure across the country. We've learned that there are numerous tax benefits from the government, and I'm sure we're going to have more on that today. And it has a number of major cities with available office space. And in total, there are about 442 IT outsourcing and BPO companies, and an increasing volume of export to different markets overseas. And in our survey results, actually, it was interesting because Uzbekistan, among Australian and Japanese respondents, came in the top third of countries in terms of their attractiveness for BPO. So that was a really startling discovery, and actually really exciting for Uzbekistan, because already Uzbekistan is starting to be seen in the top third of countries, so destinations typically like Poland, South Africa, the Philippines, and India. In terms of the interviews we did with North American and European buyers, actually Uzbekistan was located in the bottom third. However, we don't necessarily view that as particularly negative, because actually it gives great scope for Uzbekistan to promote its offer. And we think rather than it being a result that that came about because people were disappointed with Uzbekistan, it was rather the lack of knowledge of the country and the country's offer. So in short, really great opportunity with Australia and Japan in our survey results, but more work to be done in terms of North America and Europe. And overall, in terms of that front office survey, what we found, and this might not come as a surprise to most of you, is that there were really three things that BPO buyers were looking for in terms of a location. So I guess all of us here today will be looking forward to learning more. So those three things are quality network connectivity, maybe no surprise there. Secondly, the quality of education. BPO buyers really value highly a strong education system. And thirdly, the high quality of language skills. And already it's been obvious from my interaction with the Uzbeki government and others at the airport that actually there is a very high language of language skills. Less important actually in our survey, and one of the least ranking results was government tax incentives. So what we think why that is essentially because a lot of BPOs expect those kind of tax incentives, However, it's encouraging already to see that in the previous presentations that Uzbekistan is going a long way to making the country as attractive as possible. However, the fourth biggest element and sort of in terms of making a country attractive is the government's commitment to its BPO and outsourcing sector, and already we're beginning to see that in Uzbekistan. So just finally, you will hear much more about Uzbekistan in the months and years to come in their emerging BPO sector. But really it starts with defining a strong strategy, which we've seen, and really it's translating that strategy into a platform for clear communications globally, because you can have the best outsourcing offer in the world, but if you're not communicating it in the right way, then that isn't going to win you any business. And the other part of our survey, what we found is actually that what BPO buyers around the world and digital companies really wanted was clear insights, and those insights come in the form of white papers, thought leadership, and overall a really comprehensive campaign. So I look forward to hearing more from Uzbekistan over the years to come and really seeing that campaign develop. So I guess to round off, watch this space, because you'll be hearing much more about the country's BPO potential in future. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks very much, Michael. Pleasure. Thank you. Thanks very much, Michael. So we're about now to actually start a different part of the proceedings, but I just want to highlight a couple of key messages that I've taken away. And the first one we started with at the beginning was about leadership and vision. And I think what you've seen reiterated by everybody here are the three key enablers to do anything. And the first one is the right regulatory framework. If you can create the right regulatory framework, you will get investment. It's very straightforward. If the regulatory framework can develop talent, then you can build anything. And I think that's the underlying message. You can bring in some of the best companies into here. You can incentivize them in different ways. And that's the key messages. So now what I'd like to do is I'd like to invite 6 key companies, representatives from those companies, to come and make a commitment here for the government on what they plan to do over the next 7 years that we have, moving towards Digital Uzbekistan 2030. So first of all, I'd like you to welcome Amy from Huawei Technologies, the Regional Public Affairs Director, to make her commitment and sign, and we'll be asking every other company to sign. The bullseye is 5 billion, that's the target. Thank you, Amy.
Good day, dear Minister Shamato and all the guests. It's a great honor to participate in this meeting. I'm Amy from Huawei. With the active support of the Ministry for the Development of Digital Technologies, the most favorable environment for the development and the expansion of the business of ICT industry, Huawei Uzbekistan Resource Center is established. Huawei has 5 resource centers around the world. They are Uzbekistan, Egypt, Mexico, Malaysia, and Shenzhen. The Uzbekistan Resource Center is the most professional one, with the largest scale of employees. Uzbekistan Resource Center has more than 70% localization rate, which is the highest one among all the resource centers. The main functions of the center are providing outsourcing service to the Central Asia, Middle East, and the Europe region. The main services are operating in BPO mode. For example, exhibition and summit support, network insight, network planning and consulting, and technical communication and workshop with customers, bidding design, etc. The Regional Resource Center unites the specialists of various fields on strengthening the ICT infrastructure and digital transformation to provide comprehensive support for the development of ICT in the region, which is based on Huawei Uzbekistan office with the involvement more and more foreign experts and local talents. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amy. But we will not let you go unless you sign here and leave a visible evidence of your commitment. Please. Yes, just put your signature in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I got that. And the clicker. Thank you. Now, we have an exciting announcement from ZTE company, a very long-lasting and all reliable partner of the Uzbekistan market. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Okay, good morning.
Do you need the clicker?
Yes. Dear Mr. Sharmotov, ladies and gentlemen, it is really my honor to present the plan of ZT here briefly. I'm the CEO of ZT Uzbekistan, Mr. Wang Guangdong. And ZT Uzbekistan is in this market about 20 years. The main direction is for telecommunication and IT. And ZT BPO Center will be a subsidiary of ZT Uzbekistan. And it will mainly work for CIS countries and also other countries, for example, for European countries. And based on the development of business, we will have several hundreds employees in 3 years. And of course, our ZT BPO Center will register in IT Park and as a residence in IT Park. The main directions for ZT BPO Center will be 3 areas. First one is Regional Technical Service Center. Regional Technical Service Center. It means, as I said, ZT BPO Center, which is located in IT Park, will provide technical service for CIS and other countries. And the second direction is Regional Marketing and Solution Centers. Yes, we will have a specialized team here to provide telecommunication IT and IT solutions for other countries. Of course, PR included. And the third one is the Regional Remote Training Center. Remote Training Center, allowing training for other countries, customers, and also ZT staffs. We could see we have very beautiful building here, very good place here. We could also invite other countries' customer come to Uzbekistan, come to Tashkent to have training here. And it is the main introduction of ZT BPO Center. And furthermore, if you could, I could also have two proposals for you. The first one is for our HQ, ZT headquarters, ZT Corporation. Each year, we have a lot of IT outsourcing projects. So, I mean, ZT welcome. As I see just now, there are already more than 400 IT and outsourcing companies here. So we are ready to cooperate with you. If you are experienced in software development. For example, now we are working with, in this direction, we are working with IT Park, with TWIT universities, and with Infocom. We are working now. And second proposal, ZT is also very professional in the infrastructure of digitalization, data center. So we are ready to support you for all the IT and BPO companies here. It's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can't go because you must sign. I'm having difficulty with it. And now I'd like to please welcome Anwar from Uz Telecom, please, the commercial director, to also make his commitment to Digital Uzbekistan 2030. Please, thank you.
Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce the leader of telecom industry and the largest telecom operator in Uzbekistan, Uzbek Telecom. The company provide the full range of the telecom services, including the broadband access, mobile network services, cloud services, interactive TV, and the call center outsourcing services. Today, I stand before you to introduce the new cooperation models which offered by Uzbek Telecom to investors, to business partners, which will help to us and to business partners to expand our reach and deliver or provide the enhanced services to our end users. But first of all, with your permission, I want to draw your attention to our achievements, our accomplishments. In 2023, Uzbek Telecom In 2023, Uzbek Telecom was honored as a regional operator of CIS countries and awarded by Global Career Community Agency. And this recognition is persistent our dedication to develop infrastructure in Uzbekistan, and also we were also acknowledged as a most dynamic regional operator in CIS in the last year, and this has also emphasized our constant effort to be the best. Now, a little bit information in numbers. With over the 1.7 million broadband access subscriber base, we have captured more than 80% of market share broadband services. And furthermore, about 4 million number of broadband access ports and 86% of penetration of fiber optic cable into settlements is also demonstrates our dedication to infrastructure growth. And based on these numbers, based on this information, we can say that Uzbek Telecom committed to drive the digital transformation in our country, empowering the businesses and also the enabling individuals to thrive in a connected world. With your permission, we can switch to the next slide, where we can explore the various cooperation models with Uzbek Telecom. In front of you, the 3 models of cooperation. The first of this is contracting. In this case, in this arrangement, we offer to our partners to take charge of acquiring new customers and signing for contract with them, and in return they will receive the one-time remuneration. In the second model, in the second cooperation model, this model involves the investment into subscriber equipment. And in this case, our partners have the opportunity to invest in the last mile infrastructure, including the subscriber equipment and consumables. And in return, they will recome the monthly income throughout the total life cycle of each new connected subscriber. And in the lastly model, this is the cooperation with internet service providers, and they will act as a virtual service internet provider based on infrastructure of Uzbek Telecom. And in this case, they will build, our partners can build their own brands based on our infrastructure. And this also allows to provide customized services and establish the strong presence in the market share. We hope that all of these cooperation models will provide the flexible and mutually beneficial framework for our collaboration with us. And in conclusion, I want to say that Uzbek Telecom now is not only just a telecom operator, but we are your business partner. And please, you can scan the QR code on the monitor in front of you to leave your inquiry on our website. Thank you very much. This is the end of my speech.
Thank you, Anwar. Perhaps you could also sign. Thank you. All about business partnerships. Thank you very much. Спасибо. Now I'd like to invite a representative from Subscriber Control, Mr. Fakhradin. Please come and make your commitment.
Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen, participants of the forum. My name is Fakhruddin Mahmudov, and today I'm honored to present you the project by the Republican Telecommunication Management Center in Banking Anti-Fraud. Before we start, let's have a look at the background. I'm pretty much sure you all have banking accounts. You all have cards. But the question is, how secure they are? Let's have a look at the statistics. Could you please turn to the next slide? So according to JP Morgan, by the end of the year 2023, the number of fraud is going to increase by 10%. Then 71% of fintech companies said that they had a breach last year. And according to Oxford Review, 75% of all fraud losses were related to consumer phishing. The number is devastating. But what could be the solution? The project, which is called Subscriber Control. What does it do? So the activities and basic principle of the project could be described by 3 steps. First, identify the suspicious events. Second, report them. And the third one is to collect all the statistics and data and come up with a comprehensive and consolidated report so that you can fight and combat with this fraud. Well, so what events are recorded by the system? The system records more than 25 events. For example, SIM card replacement, or change the device, or the relocation of the device. Imagine your device has activities from different locations. This is the red flag and sign, definitely, of the fraud. May I have the next slide, please? The sign of the fraud. Well, for example, from my perspective, even I had such an experience when I got a call from the person who introduced himself as a representative of the banking service, of my banking service, and then they started asking for the SMS confirmation code, and they were so convincing. They tried to convince me that this is a case when someone wants to log in into my banking account. I panicked, I told the code, and then within a second, I realized what I've done. So I changed the password immediately, I called the service, and I followed all the steps. But the question is, what if you lose the second? Your account is going to be zeroed. So in conclusion, I can tell you with the subscriber control system, your account is secure. And we would be honored for cooperation. If you have any further comments or questions, feel free to contact us by the email. And as a continuation of our presentation, we would like to demonstrate to you the video which is going to showcase the background and activities of the subscriber control system. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Currently, the number of bank card users is increasing every year, as well as the number and types of fraud associated with plastic cards. According to financial institution JP Morgan, bank fraud could increase by 10% this year compared to last year, and 71% of fintech organizations experienced data theft last year. Residents, banks, and other financial institutions suffer significant financial losses. The subscriber control system provides reliable protection against fraudulent attacks aimed at stealing funds from the financial accounts of bank card users at the mobile network level. This system quickly detects suspicious activities and sends a task to external anti-fraud systems, blocks, restricts access, reports. Also collects statistical data on mutual settlements between telecom operators, financial organizations, and regulatory authorities. The Republican Telecommunication Network Control Center of Uzbekistan, under the Ministry of Digital Technologies, informs that the subscriber control project has started today and invites all local and international financial organizations wishing to use this system for cooperation. Subscriber control, a guarantee of peace of mind.
Thank you very much. Fakhruddin, thank you very much. Please put your X on the commitment board before we let you go. Just anywhere. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, Fakhruddin. Ladies and gentlemen, being in the sphere of talent development in IT, myself, the next announcement is of a special importance for me. I would like to invite Acharya University with their announcement and to show their commitment on our board. Thank you very much. And the clicker.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shalini Reddy, and I am the president of Acharya University, Karakul, Bukhara, Uzbekistan. Very proud. I'm very proud and privileged to stand in front of you today. Karakul, you might, I don't know how many of you know or heard of Karakul. It's this beautiful place in the province of Bukhara, where the DNA of the students is wired to be very, very smart in mathematics. And I think that is what is required for the technology. My commitment and Acharya's commitment to His Excellency Mr. Sharmatov and to Uzbekistan would be all the companies that are coming in to set up in Uzbekistan, you will have to look at Acharya, and Acharya will be able to provide you the best of your workforce. The workforce will be equipped, totally because the curriculum of Acharya is industry relevant, developed and vetted by the industries. It is also solidified because we are offering industry-specific partner trainings with our partners from Intel, IBM, and Microsoft. So I will perhaps after this, I will let you see the highlights of Acharya and a very small brief video. But basically my commitment to Your Excellency and Uzbekistan would be the amazing, well-trained workforce that all the companies here will look forward to. So I will take the liberty and say, hopefully the next digital forum will be hosted in Karakul by Acharya University, where I will be able to showcase my 5,400 strong, talented students of Uzbekistan to the world. Before I leave, I would also like to say, I'm sure all of you and the world have heard the roar of the tiger of India in the BPO industry, in the IT industry. Now, world, be ready. It's time for the Uzbek snow leopard's roar. Be ready and watch out. Thank you.
Situated in the Silicon Valley of India, Acharya University offers an innovative environment that rivals the world's leading technological centers. With its team of mentors and specialists from the field of information technology, Acharya is establishing a university in the IT cluster of Karakul. The IT cluster will include modern infrastructure, state-of-the-art laboratories, BPO and KPO centers, research centers. The highlights of Acharya University are highly qualified professors, free laptops for all students, 100 grants for meritorious students, Acharya's own LMS platform, Acharya APP for academic administration, internationally recognized certification, strategically designed internships. The impact of Acharya University on the youth of Uzbekistan will play a crucial role in nurturing qualified IT professionals, driving economic growth, fostering international partnerships, technological and social developments, strengthening IT exports. Situated in Bukhara, one of the most ancient and architecturally beautiful places in the world, attracting people from around the world. Karakul, often referred to as the city of mathematicians in Uzbekistan, is poised to become the Silicon Valley of the future.
Thank you very much. We will be looking forward to success of this university. Now, folks, get ready to see the stage being set on fire with not one, but two announcements from one of the companies taking a leading position in the market, Vion. Please join me in welcoming the representative of Vion. The clicker.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abdulaziz. I am head of project OC. Of course, first question, what is OC? OC is mobile application, and we have big three things in our app. First, Our app, telecommunication app, but not traditional. Our app, fully digital. You can get SIM card around Uzbekistan less than 1 minute via Face ID verification. Second things, our application entertaining. What it means? Many people here use services like Netflix, services like Spotify and other. We integrate digital content for our app, and we integrate telecommunication and entertainment for one app, and will be first teletainment app in Uzbekistan. Last but not least, social responsible app. We allocate one of part spends our user to social projects. And now I want to show you a short video about our application. Please enjoy watching.
Join in a minute with the remote identification technology. Choose what you need. Share vibrant moments, fast and cost-effective. Get as much traffic as you need. Watch and listen to exclusive content. Experience the app and become a part of charitable missions. Nothing but essentials.
Thank you. I want to close my speech with one big point. Today, happy day for me, incredible day for me, because today I'm first time present my child on this forum. And I want to take thanks for this opportunity to speak in this forum. Also, I want to thank Bugun for supporting our project, supporting me and my team. Also, I want to thank Ministry of Digital Technologies for creating all necessary things for our needs and for our app. And very soon, our app will be able in market Uzbekistan. Thank you so much. Of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Don't you love the passion of the last two presenters, yes? Put your hands together for everybody. So we started with passion and we're finishing with passion. So I'd like to invite the 6 guests, the companies, the representatives on stage. I'd also like to invite Minister Shermatov and his delegation also to come on stage, because only this morning I found out that the Minister has a very special message to give the world, I would say. So please, if you could all come up on stage and join him. Please, please, come on stage. Don't be shy. Come on, you've all been, you can't possibly be shy after all this. Gather round, gather round, gather round. It's very symbolic. So what we'd like to do first.
Dear guests, thank you very much for joining our first Digital Leadership Forum. And we have 7 more years ahead to come. And we would like to announce that we decided to make this event annually, and we want to see you every year in Tashkent, overall in Uzbekistan. Thank you.
And now please, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to put your hand on this, don't press it yet, just gently, gently. Gently, yes. And now what we're going to do is, you're going to launch the digital leadership.
Ladies and gentlemen, before you go, can I please give you a small sneak peek of what awaits for you after your well-deserved coffee break? At exactly 11:30, we are breaking out into 5 action-packed sessions, each happening at different venues. Now, first up, we got BPO and IT outsourcing session happening here in this Congress Hall. Now, for all the venture capitalists and risk takers, head over to Uzbek Telecom building, the second floor, and join the session on venture capitalist ecosystem of Uzbekistan. Now, on the third floor, we got not one but two awesome sessions: Global IT Skills Gap session and the Women Gap in Tech session. And in the main conference room of Aloha Bank building, we have artificial intelligence taking a center stage. At 2 o'clock, we are taking this whole party to GovTech session at the Uzbek Cinema Center, sorry. You won't want to miss it. Off to a coffee break, thank you very much. Так, это